those clips may have been hard to stomach, but that's just the reality of Christians all over the world, not just Nigeria. Nigeria, Africa is just what I chose to focus on because a dear friend of mine sent me a video, a very disturbing video about the mass genocide of Christians in Africa. Now, I'm not the one that will take anything from social media outlets and just run with it. I have to do my due diligence. I have to do my research. I have to look at credible and trustworthy and reliable sources, sites, all of that, to try to gather as many facts as possible and get as close to the truth as possible before I get before anybody and give them any type of information. Now, I'm not saying that I'm perfect in any kind of way. I am flawed just like everybody else. I make mistakes, but I try to do everything with a spirit of excellence. And one of the biggest things that I'm really big on is accountability. I like to be held accountable. So that's why I go back and I research. And so with that being said, let me educate you on some data that I was able to put together for this video. And I will be citing the sources throughout, so you can go back for your own peace of mind. You can go back and research for yourself and do your due diligence as well. So what I've come to see throughout this research is that Nigeria is one of the most deadliest countries for Christians to reside in. And what's interesting is that Christians make up the majority of the population in Nigeria. Serve Africa published an article that stated 1 out of 5 Christians are persecuted, and more than 4,600 Christians were killed because of their faith in 2023. Can you even imagine living in a country, a region, or an area where Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, or any of these extremists or militias like are the authoritative figures or powers, are like they rule and reign? Like, can you even imagine that? Serve Africa stated that in 2022, 34.5 million people were displaced because of these type of extremists and militias. And out of the 34.5 million, 16.4 million were Christians. And then in 2023, 14,000 churches were attacked or closed. Christian Today cited on the WWL, which is the World Watch List. And for those that do not know what that is, this is a Christian-focused data set site. They're widely cited, which means they're credible. They are reliable for their data as far as putting together information and data when it comes to Christians and what's going on with them in countries all over the world. It was cited that Nigeria ranks number 7 of the deadliest countries in the world for Christians. The ICC, International Christian Concern, notes that between 2009 and March 2022, more than 45,000 Christians were murdered by extremist groups such as Boko Haram, the Islamic State, West Africa Province, ISWAP, and Fulani militants. In 2022 alone, around 5,000 Christians were killed in Nigeria, more than the rest of the world combined. From 2015 to 2020, An estimated 11,000 to 12,000 Christians were murdered by Islamist militants, and over 2,000 churches were demolished. In 2021, some 3,800 Christians were abducted. I'm giving you these stats because I want y'all to, I'm going somewhere with this. One of the most horrifying attacks, according to Christian Today, occurred on Palm Sunday when Fulani extremists stormed a village and slaughtered no fewer than 54 Christians, including children, inside their own homes, forcing the entire community to flee. In February of this year, y'all, ADF militants beheaded 70 Christians, including women and children, during a church service. And according to a dossier published by Open Door International, more than 10,000 schools closed in northern Nigeria due to the government's failure to protect civilians, which led to millions of children's illiteracy, early marriages, and poverty. They also said the byproduct of this unfortunate truth is aiding the malicious efforts to recruit. This is only adding to the oppression and the violence that is going on in Nigeria. And the Pew Research Center published an analysis of external data that showed the number of countries Christians were harassed in by government or social groups from 2007 to 2022. Peep this. In 2007, it showed that it was 107 countries that Christians were enduring harassment and persecution by government. By 2022, it increased to 166 countries. That's an additional 59 countries. An additional 59 countries. But over here in the States, Christians entertain this foolishness.
To be spared from. Then you land at 2025. Then how do you come to a month? You come to a month by the Feast of Trumpets, which is in September, on the 23rd and the 24th. The only thing we don't know, we know the year, we know the month. The only thing we don't know is the day or hour in these 2 days. So
we actually know the day, we just don't know which day out of the two.
We know the year.
And which hour.
Yes, we know the year, the month, and we know the 2 days.
Yes.
But in these 2 days, we don't know the day or the hour.
Now, did you hear him contradict himself? He said that we have the day, but then turns around and says, we don't know the day nor the hour. And did you peep? The twins caught that? But then he turned around and said, no, but yes, and then repeated what he just said again to re-contradict himself. Let's play that again.
By the Feast of Trumpets, which is in September, on the 23rd and the 24th, the only thing we don't know, we know the year, we know the month, the only thing we don't know is the day or hour in these 2 days. So
we actually know the day, we just don't know which day out of the two.
we know the year.
And which hour.
Yes, we know the year, the month, and we know the 2 days.
Yes.
But in these 2 days, we don't know the day or the hour.
Ephesians 5:16 says, we're supposed to make most of our time because the days are evil. Colossians 4:5 says that we're supposed to conduct ourselves with wisdom towards outsiders. Wisdom towards outsiders, making the most of the opportunity. In other words, we are supposed to be careful with the way that we walk, not as unwise men, but as wise, as Ephesians 5:15 tells us to do. That is why God says in Ephesians 6:13 that we're to take up the full armor of God so that we will be able to resist in the evil day, having done everything to stand firm. Jesus told us specifically in Luke 21:8, see to it that you are not misled, for many will come in my name saying, I am he, and the time is near. Do not go after them. You know why? Because this is what you will end up looking like.
And I think it's really hitting me that we are going home. And I am so sad for those who are not going with us.
To the person who sold me their car on September 21st, this is September 24th, and the rapture didn't happen, you're not getting your car back.
We made it! It was especially hard for true believers when they found out it didn't happen and they still had to
To my brothers and sisters who are watching for the rapture right now, don't give up hope.
And as we approach the end of the day, it's looking like it's not happening, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, I feel foolish. I feel dumb.
It is September 23rd, and we're still here, and I'm fine with that.
Jeremiah 10:14, which is becoming my favorite scripture, by the way, says, every man is stupid, devoid of knowledge. I mean, especially people following after this Malachi person. I mean, God, she knows his voice. I mean, especially if you read his word and have a relationship with him. I mean, his word is literally his voice. But yeah, that's a topic for another time. Okay, so I did a video a month ago, and I was asking the Lord to come. I was being selfish. Yes, I was being selfish. But God had to remind me that even in that time, because I was going through some things, and I was seeing all this wickedness and this evilness, where I was just like, God, like, Lord, can you come? Like, what's up? Can you come? Please, please, Lord Jesus, please come. Like, come. But he had to remind me that he is not slack concerning his promise, as 2 Peter 3:9 tells us. Like he's going to fulfill his promise, but he's going to fulfill it in his timing. And so, he had to check me. But he also reminded me that we should pray for others. In John 9:31, he says, we know that God does not hear sinners, but if anyone is God-fearing and does his will, he hears him. And then he also says in Psalms 34:15, he said, the eyes of the Lord are toward the righteous and his ears are open to their cry. So we as true believers should be watching and praying, sometimes calling out and exposing, contending for the faith. As Jude tells us in verse 3, we got to contend for the faith. And definitely we should be making sure that we're ready for his coming. But in no means should we be carried away with every wind of doctrine that presents itself as truth. And in no means should we forget that there's other brothers and sisters out there being persecuted every day, forced from their homes, murdered, slaughtered in the most heinous of ways, and treated in other ways that I dare not say on this platform. I don't need any censors or any all that type of stuff going on. I want to be able to come to you with truth as best as possible. And so just go do your research. Go do your research. You will see what I'm talking about. But we must stay focused. We must remain awake, y'all, in prayer and at the feet of Jesus. We must. And it makes my spirit so heavy sometimes when I think about how privileged we act, or how spoiled we act. Like, we don't even think about the things that others are going through. Like, it's like, oh my goodness, I have a rip in my clothes, or oh my God, I need some new shoes. Oh my goodness, I need another car. Oh my God, I need this, I need this. Oh my goodness, I don't eat that type of cheese on here. I need this type of cheese instead. I prefer this. Like, and I'm not saying that you can't have the type of cheese you want. It's the attitude behind it. It's the privileged bouginess behind it. Like, we have to get back to a place of humility, and we have to get back to a place of love where we're putting others before ourselves, knowing that it's not about us, that it's all about Jesus. It's all about him being glorified, all about him being magnified above everything and above everybody. We are to be thinking of others before ourselves. So I just pray that this video provided some insight to make you want to go and research some things that are happening with our other brothers and sisters of the faith across the world, so that even if you don't feel like, if you're not in a position to do anything to help, like physically, you can do something spiritually, which is pray for them. Go to the Father on their behalf. Go to the feet of Jesus on their behalf and pray. Pray for them. Pray for them. And if you can't be there physically and you can be there monetarily, make sure you research now. You know where your cash flow, your finances going. Be wise. Walk as wise. Don't be stupid. Okay? And just help in any way that you can. You know, it's not about us. It's not about us. So may Jesus be glorified. That's all I got. And until next time, I'm Dejana Against the Grain. I love you with the love of God. I'm out. Peace.